When I'm preparing for a show, I usually start with what I most feel strongly about or with a concept that's been sitting in my head. Other times, I just go straight to experimenting with materials and I think with my hands. But there are rare occasions when I come across an image and it connects with me and I take it from there. Early last year, as I was browsing and rearranging my files, I saw a photo that I took in 2015, and it is what led me to this work. It was an image of a 15th century sculpture of a Venetian artist. The sculpture is made of wood, representing Christ in an upright position and outstretched arms with the palms of the wounded hands facing the viewer. I wasn't sure if at that time I have seen it in the way it appeared to me last year. Maybe I was just drawn in by the careful attention to details. You will see the veins and even that of the body hair. 7 years later, as I encounter the work again through the photo, I still find the details beautiful, but there was a specific part that caught me. The blood that gushed from the stigmata of the hands, where the nails were driven through, looked like a flower. I paused at the bridge where the unimaginable violence and pain are turned into something tender like the flowers. I've been drawing inspiration from nature and I usually paint landscapes, but in the process, I'm conscious and aware that I wanted to observe a portrait. The process of the painting started with a red underpainting. It is done by pouring the thinned red acrylic paint on the middle of a flat canvas and funneling it to the edge to mimic a radial form and allowing them to drip on all four sides. After giving them a month to dry or so, the first dab of oil paint is then applied. The reference subject for the 9 paintings is a typical floral arrangement on a basket that I bought in the local market, which is usually used as an offering at the altar or at the grave. Initially, I planned to do a watercolor painting of different graveside flowers resembling those in botanical illustration books, but I thought that it would be interesting to lean on and capture a more human component of the idea by imitating the skin with fresh wounds and to rather use the same flowers and involve the element of time. It is interesting to observe the form of wilting flowers as it droops and surrenders to gravity, just like a soft sculpture would. Instead of painting the whole image, I left out the flowers as it is the part where I wanted the underpainting to be exposed. The surrounding leaves, stems, and sepals would form the shape of the flower, like a negative cast would form a mold. To paint the same subject repetitively 9 times is likened to praying a novena. A novena is a 9-day period of prayer, and it comes from the Latin word novem, which means 9. As I painted successively the same flower that is further wilted on each painting, I began to recognize more details and the subtle tones that I have overlooked in the first paintings. The defined shape of the flowers also has slowly become closer to the appearance of dripping blood. The French term for still life is nature morte, which means dead nature, and it is interesting to see the suggestions and parallels of life and death in the painting. Repetition assists in increasing the consciousness, and maybe it is the same with praying. Sharing a dialogue with the paintings is the sculpture made of votive red candles, melted on the silicone cast hands, with the wick resting directly through the stigmata. Here's a note I have written as I was making the work. You reached out your hands, which both grew a flower. You looked at the wilted prayers I had, and you made them yours.